Welcome back to the channel, and the next couple of videos really are snagging. It's a case of I'm at that point in the project where I need to be able to assemble everything as I glue, but because of the complexity of putting everything together at once, I need to have a little run through, and that's what I'm doing here in the first of these couple of videos. And that's where a couple of snags crop up. So the first of the video is highlighting how I come across this problem and my thoughts about how I can correct it. The second of the videos is going to be carrying on with this snagging and further problems that I spot, fortunately, and then how I can try and correct those. So thanks for coming along with me on this journey, and let me know what you think in the comments. Well, that gluing up has gone very well, I'm pleased to say, and everything seems to be nice, firmly attached. So hopefully that will provide a good support for the bottom shelves. And my big dilemma, I suppose this has been creeping up on me as the elephant in the room for a little while now, is actually gluing the carcass together, because unfortunately my cutting skills aren't there by a long chalk yet. So some of the mortises and tenons, they are loose. Now, one of the viewers a few episodes back, when I was gluing the side panels together, just passed the comment that it's best to put the glue on the tenon, not flood the mortise with glue. And I get that. I totally get that. But that's my problem, because some of the tenons are loose. If I just put the glue on the tenon, at times there won't be enough glue to hold the joint together, and that's why I've tended to just flood the mortise. But the glue being glue, I need to have the mortise with the glue in it flat on the surface. and then put everything into. And that's fine, that's no problem. So I can do one side. But when it comes to fitting the other side, with this project, I'm going to have the bottom and the middle shelves in place. So it's going to be a little bit of a trial, put it like that, in knowing exactly how it's going to work. Now, what I've done is separated the components. So those are for the smaller cabinet, these larger cabinet, these are for the smaller. So I think what I'm going to have to do is just have a dry run to see how the fit up goes before I put the glue in. Unfortunately, I know it's a design fault, I only have one pair of hands, but anyway, that's where I am at the moment, this dilemma. So let's see how a run through of the procedure goes. And I'm glad I stopped to try and work out how I'm going to put these together, because I realise going back a few weeks, when I was gluing the side panels together, if you remember, I put the top and bottom rails in the wrong way round. I put the top where the bottom should be, the bottom where the top should be, which meant I had to recut these top mortises. But that then pushed where the centre rail is out of alignment. So I've got a choice on this one cupboard. It doesn't affect the other one, it's only this one cupboard, because those are the centre uprights, and so those centre mortises for the centre support, like that, it will no longer now fit that. If I'm going to have that at the same height as that, then I'm going to have to recut the two mortises there, so to bring them down. That is one option, but that then negates what my wife wished, to have the shelf spacing as in the existing cupboards. So although that's there, and yes, I could recut the mortise to move that down to there, but I think what I'm going to do, for expediency, yes, but primarily so that I keep the shelf spacing as my wife wanted, I'm like I've done here. I think what I will do is glue some supports here. I think that's the best option that I have. So first off, I've got to work out exactly where the support needs to be. And it looks like I've got even more snagging to go, but anyway, we'll come to that in a minute. So that's roughly the position I need. So from that point there, pencil. From that point there to the top of the support is 386. So from there, 386 is to there. Yeah, that's too big. Right, something's gone wrong with that one, because if I take that line across, there's a gap of 10 mil. So let's put this one in. And can you see, this is a problem I have because I've had to recut these mortises, move it, that's where it should have been. I had to recut over there, so of course this is now far too big. .386 from there. It's almost there. So that's that one. So if I duplicate that one, and then that's where the glue line, that's where the top of the support needs to be. Right, and I've got that spare, so that will be a good size just to cut and glue on there. So let me do the other panel and then I can glue. Now, at the risk of assuming again, because those are relatively fixed, what I've done, rather than put the rails in the bottom mortise on the second panel, I've just made sure that that is right at the top, and then just taken a measurement from there to there and then transferred it to there. So that's what I've gone and done. All it needs now is for this to be glued, and that I think will just be a simple job of, yes, that will fit. That'll be fine. That'll be enough support to hold those. So, so that's that. I know that is negating the idea of the loose panel. The whole idea was that as those expanded and contracted, the slots in the framework would allow the movement. That's going to negate that, but I can't see there's anything else I can do. Oh well, never mind, we'll come back. Now in the meantime, the extra snag that I've come across while I was trying those fittings was when I glued these together, because these top mortises join, I had the problem, if you remember, of the glue seeping out, so I had to block the extra holes somehow. I tried to get the paper out, and I tried to recut the mortises just to try and get some of that out. I thought it had been successful, but it hasn't. That's why I was having problem getting the tenon to fit. So again, all in the cause of expediency, I'm going through the mortises and seeing exactly how deep they are, and then marking on the relevant tenons the difference, just to take off a slight amount. And really the only one on this panel that needs the tenons adjusting are those two there. That one's fine, but it's those two, so that's fine. The two bottom mortises are fine, so I'm just about to do the other panel. So as clear as I can make this mortise, it's 17mm deep, and this tenon is 19.5, so millimetre and a half, let's say 2 millimeters. That's just a case of marking, and that's the bit that just needs to come off on that one. So E is that one, and I think it's only going to be that top mortise, because that one didn't join anything, so I didn't need to plug it. Again, that's close, so just a tad. Right, so I think what I'll do is just double check these tenons as well. Again, just to make sure. So this is G, and that's the top, so that's the one. $21. Oh, that's ample, that is. Good, and so that one is that one. Well, that last one was an interesting experience that we managed it. Thanks for coming along with me on this journey. It's one of those bitty projects, yes, but at least I can see the end of the project. So hopefully you've spotted something that might help you in your workshop, and next time it'll be continuing this snagging, and we'll see how far I get.